you so much. That's a song that I really admire. It's a song that I like. I was trying to make sure that everything is working right. We are just about to get into a very nice moment together with Joyce Marenddes. I had a lot of work earlier that had to make sure that I thought I was working very hard to make sure that I get it right. Joyce Marenddes. She is just about to come in and speak to us about insurance, health insurance. So get ready. Get ready to learn. Get ready to learn. This is gonna be beautiful. This is gonna be beautiful. Earlier on, or rather as we prepare for that, there's this issue that is going on in Kenya. Mudogo Okodho Bando, just deciding that since he is a governor, he's going to get some millions or some billions and put in the pocket together with his children. What a shame to see a governor being arrested together with his 4 children. So really? I'm like, no, this is not right. This is not right. 4 children, a governor and 4 children, and there are other cases that are in that have been pending with this guy. It is very unfortunate. Very, very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Oh, good. Let me see. Awesome. So we are in class. We want to make sure that this program is very nice, very sweet. We want to make sure that as we study about insurance, then we want also to be happy. We want to be happy. The person who is coming to speak to us is always happy. She's always happy. So for those people who want to know a little bit about keeping fit, then off the cuff, you better talk to her so that she can tell you what she did to be the way she is. And that is by the way. So we are going to make sure that in the process, I will ask her about that. I'll ask her about that. I know it is not part of our program, but sasa amekuja kwa nini nisipate nafasi ya kupata kila kitu. Now we are going to mix to speak in English. So don't mind about my and that will be good. All right. I want to make sure that everybody is seated and right. I had another link on the YouTube, but I think that one have expired. So anyway, we have this other one that is working. Okay, good. On the trumpet of hope. 1, 2, and go. All right. We are live. Now, good evening. Let me hear your voice. I don't know whether
good evening. How are you?
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I am excited to have you. This is a very, very, very good. I can't imagine that I'm with you. Wow.
I am honored to be here. I only see you bring superstars. So I was like, whoa, today. But I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. So how is, let me start from here. How is Pastor Kenodia, Dr. Kenodia? How is Finehas and the family?
They're doing okay. They're doing okay.
That is good. That is good. And keeping safe from the hurricane, yeah?
Yes, they're keeping safe from the hurricane. Yes.
I hope that it has not come to your way.
No, actually, I don't think it will pass. I think it will feel the effects, but not as much as we thought. So I'm so glad about that. And
At
you?
least, at least we didn't have to be in darkness. You
I
know,
know.
I was fearing about that. So I want to introduce yourself briefly. Take a moment and introduce yourself. And as you introduce yourself, please don't forget to tell people that you are a fitness and a wellness coach.
Okay. I'll definitely do that. Thank you for allowing me to add that in. So my name is Joyce Marenddes, and I'm the founder of BL Consulting Group. And our focus is on providing benefit administrations to small businesses and also to individuals. And also on the side, I'm also not on the side, my other business, I'm also a wellness coach. I help people to find balance in their lives when it comes to their health, when it comes to their mental health, physical, spiritual, and all that, so that they can bring balance to their lives. And in the past, I was in the human resources. I was in human resources, and I was in HR for 15 years, mainly focusing on benefit administration for different big companies, until 2018, when I decided to actually leave corporate America and just start to focus on small businesses and individuals. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
That is very good. Just briefly before we get into the issues of health insurance, there are some people who are watching here, and they would want to know just a little bit more on wellness. Keeping fit, smiling. Tell them just a little bit about the journey, how you were then and how you are now, how you weighed then and how you weigh now, how you looked then and how you look now. Because they will, I don't want them to come and fight me after these. Akina Barnes and Akina Ruth, I know they are here and they are watching. They need to know about these
Okay.
things.
So women don't like to tell their age. So you're putting me on the spot, but I will. So I used to be 220 pounds, and I was very, I used to have a lot of medical challenges. And for a long time, I tried to lose weight. I tried to do what everybody does. I tried to diet. I tried to exercise. I tried to go get some paid a trainer who I would go see them for some time, then I give up and all that. And I tried everything, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, if it was there, I tried it. So one time, I was talking to my coach, my fitness coach, my wellness coach, and she told me, you know what, the only way you're gonna get the results you're looking for is if you actually change your mindset. And so when she told me that, everybody else used to tell me to do a lot of things that were external, but no one told me to do anything that required me to like change my mind. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and work on that. And then I started just researching more on the mind and all that. And I discovered with my mind, I have the power to control everything about what I'm doing. I have the power to tell myself, don't do this or do this, wake up, go exercise and all that. It's all about mindset. And that's how my journey started. So the more I started learning about it, the more I discovered that I even changed from being I never used to be a morning person. I actually became a morning person. I started to wake up in the morning and I go out running, and I started making changes with my food and taking better care of myself, taking good supplements and all that, until vitamins, until I got to a place where I noticed that I started losing weight. And then, of course, there are things that we have to add, which is just resting, things we take for granted, that we can just sleep a few hours and and then we just find that we'll have good results. And so I discovered if I don't sleep enough, it affects how my body processes everything, and I won't be able to lose weight. And so I was able to add all that in, and slowly but surely I found myself losing weight until I got to until I lost a whole child. I lost 65 pounds. My firstborn was around 60 pounds. So it's like I lost a whole human being. So I lost 65 pounds, and that's how I was able to get to the right weight where I all the medical conditions I had actually disappeared. So I no longer have to take any form of medication other than just vitamins. So
That is important. We are live tonight with Joyce Marenddes. And there's a lot that we are going to learn. She lost a whole 65 pounds. And
yes,
she became a morning person. And she became very energized, and you can follow her on her Facebook account, and you will be able
yes.
to get more. And maybe if you want to make a date with her before the end of the program, she will give us her contacts. And that will be good. So we proceed on, and tonight we are learning a little bit on the importance of having a life in medical or health insurance. And I want us to just start. We had a very big debate earlier in one of the groups. And there was so much a discussion on the issues of life insurance and health insurance. Can you first of all tell us what is this that we are talking about, and what is the difference between health and life insurance?
Okay, so with health insurance, it covers your whole, like it covers your anything to do with your health or anything to do with your body. So, for example, if you get sick, if you get COVID, your health insurance will kick in, and that is what the hospital will charge so that it can pay for your services. Or if you just need to do preventive services, which is just going for your annual checkups or going for mammograms, all those different things that we have to go for every year, your health insurance will cover that. And then when it comes to life insurance covers your beneficiaries. It's paid to your beneficiaries if you were to pass away. And then some of them also have they have what they call a rider, whereby maybe you don't really, it will pay you sometimes if you get something catastrophic. Maybe if you're diagnosed with cancer and they say you only have like let's say 3 months to live, or you have only 6 months to live, some of the insurance plans will actually pay you while you're still alive, and then they'll pay you a certain portion of it, and then the rest of the balance will be left to the beneficiary of your choice that you've put in the system. But that's the difference between health and life insurance.
Now, what is the importance of having health insurance? If
So with health insurance, I'll give you a scenario that actually happened to us, our family. So with health insurance, if you don't have health insurance, there are some certain services that you will not be able to get from the hospital, because they will refuse to, they'll treat you only to a certain point whereby you're well enough to be discharged, but they won't go deep to be able to make sure that everything is okay with you. And so a good example is my mom had been sick, and she needed to go for dialysis, but at that time she didn't have health insurance. And so they would only let her go for dialysis when she's critical, but they wouldn't let her just be able to do the regular dialysis until she was able to qualify for insurance, which was several months. So for the few months that she didn't have the insurance, she had to only go for dialysis like once a week, but her body actually needed for her to go 3 times a week. So when you don't have insurance, you find yourself having to you will not be able to get the best care that you need when something happens to you, especially when you have something catastrophic or anything like that. You will not be able to get the best care that you need. They'll just treat you based on the least minimum amount because they know you won't be able to pay.
Thank you so much. I know so many challenges that we have. For example, we who come in from outside this country, and we come in. Sometimes we don't have papers. Sometimes we don't have. We are not working, and sometimes we don't know where to get help. So, can people enroll? Let us talk about the enrollment into health insurance. Take us through that process.
So with health insurance, so there are several kinds of health insurance. So there's the employer insurance. So if you have an employer who has health insurance, no matter how much they charge for it, I know sometimes people say, oh, my employer, the insurance is too expensive, I won't take it. But that's the best place to be able to get health insurance. If your employer offers insurance, you should never miss the annual enrollment. Always make sure to enroll. That's the number one place where a lot of people get insurance. And then there's also the marketplace, which is also called the Obamacare. So with that, they have annual enrollment, and you can only do that during annual enrollment. And it's normally around November through December. So they give people, I think, like 30 days to enroll. And with the marketplace, you have to qualify based on, you have to be a citizen. So you either have to be a citizen, or I think maybe a green card. I'm not sure about the green card, but you have to be a citizen or maybe green card. But other than that, if you're not any of those two, then you won't be able to enroll for that. And also with the marketplace, you cannot enroll outside of the enrollment period unless you have what they call a qualified event. So for example, if you have a baby, then you can be able to add the baby to your plan. Or if you get married, you can add your spouse. Or if you get divorced, you can remove, add, and stuff like that. So they have a list on the website that they say these are the qualified events that will allow you to enroll in benefits outside of annual enrollment. And then the other option is just private insurance. So private insurance, they really vary. There's what they call short-term insurance, then that's the regular private insurance. So those are some options that people can also select. They can select. And with the good thing with the private insurance is that you can enroll in them at any time during the year. So you're not limited to just annual enrollment. Although they are slightly more expensive depending on what you qualify for Obamacare. Sometimes the private might look like it's a little bit more expensive, but most of the time the private insurance is good because you're able to choose some of the things you want in the benefit. While with the other ones, with your employer coverage or with the Obamacare, you can't choose what you want. You can say, I only want to cover outpatient and maybe, let's say outpatient, and then also to be able to have doctor visits. So you don't have to have like inpatient, or just to be able to reduce cost. You can make such changes with the private insurance.
And thank you so much. Right now, I know there are people who may want to get to some of them who don't have insurance. If somebody comes to you right now and he or she doesn't have insurance, what are the things that you look at as you advise them?
So if someone doesn't have insurance, some of the things that I look at is trying to find out what are they able to afford, and then we can start to work from there. Because if they're able to afford, like depending on a certain amount that maybe they can afford private insurance, then we can start looking at the different private insurances that are there to see what they can qualify for. And with private insurance also, most of them you have to go through a whole process they call underwriting, where they ask you questions about your health before they approve you. So they don't want to just have someone who's coming in, maybe you're just coming in because I want to have a baby, or maybe I'm 6 months pregnant, and I just want to have the baby and drop the insurance. They don't want people like that, because that's a cost. That's a cost, and this is a business. So they ask all those questions first before they accept you into the insurance. And so if someone doesn't have coverage, that knowing what they can afford is the number one thing. If they're not able to afford any, like, if they're not able to afford the private insurance, we also have different services. Like if you're here in Texas, in Houston, and you're in Harris County, there's the Harris Health. They have an insurance, a kind of insurance, they call it the Gold Card, and someone can apply for that. And depending on, and you have to submit like your income to show your income level, so they can tell you how much you, like, what you qualify for. So most people will qualify, and then you might have to either pay a small amount for your services. So let's say maybe some people might pay like $10, other might pay $50, just depending on what your income level is. And then there's also another place called Legacy Community. Also with that, they have, it's almost the same way as Gold Card. So someone would just register there, they check your income and all that, and then they'll let you know what you can qualify for and all, and then how you can be able to see the doctors. So with the Gold Card, you can only see Harris Health doctors in the Harris Health clinics, and then you can only go to the hospitals within Harris County. And the Legacy, it's mainly clinics, so you can only go to those clinics that are specific to them.
So suppose you get a client maybe who is not within that particular...
and I
yeah, because sometimes you may get a client who is not within Harris County, and they may need to get assistance, and maybe you are advising, or maybe you can challenge some of us to maybe move over.
No, because I'm not even in Harris County either. So yeah, you can actually, because every city, every county, they have all those small clinics, like the government clinics and all that. So they would have to check and see what's in their clinic. Because like with Fort Bend, I know they have some clinics here in Fort Bend, but Harris County is really big. That's why like almost everybody falls into Harris County, although not, I know both of us don't, but yeah, so every area has their own little government clinics. And then they also have some cash pay clinics also, where people can pay, you can go and pay cash. So you just have to look for places that don't charge a lot, and you'll just have to research more. And then also there's what they call there's the direct primary care. And I think that is where, and there's one located here in Houston by Dr. Ngare. I don't know if you know Dr. Ngare.
Yeah.
She's a direct primary care. She has a service whereby you'll pay like a certain monthly fee, and then you can see the doctor as many times as you want. And that's also an option that I send people to, especially when you have, let's say you have a parent who's visiting for 3-4 months and they're here in the US, and then they get sick. That's something you can actually sign up for, so that while your parent is here, you just pay a monthly fee and they can go see the doctor, they can get the tests they need and all that. So that's also something someone can choose to do.
That one is important, and I think that is something that maybe you can explain a little bit further, because that is where some people fall in. The parent is coming here, he or she is visiting, and not for a very long time, and maybe they get sick and they don't know what to do. Some of them have left the children with such a heavy bill.
Yeah, that's really so with the, depending on what it is, because like with the direct care, she's a primary care physician, so they can just go into the doctor's office. But if something major happens, like someone comes and they get a heart attack here, then that's of course she won't be able to do that, because that's she has her clinic, but she can refer you to some doctors, but the big things, you'll have to go to a hospital. So with that, with parents visiting, sometimes if the parent can afford it before they come, I always advise people to see whether they can get the international insurance. And I actually do offer international insurance also, although most of the people who want the international insurance, I mean, a lot of business people who travel a lot. So they always want to make sure whatever country they're in, they can be covered. So I have a partnership with another insurance company where they help people get international insurance coverage. So someone can actually plan, if they know their parent is coming here, they can be able to get the international insurance, and then they can make sure, so that they can make sure even if they're visiting for 3 months, whatever that amount they'll need to pay for 3-4 months, if anything was to happen, then at least they have insurance, they can get adequate services, and they don't have to get a big bill.
Can you please dig a little bit further on that? Because most of us, the people you are talking to, we travel. And we travel to our country, motherland, our motherland, Kenya. And sometimes you go there and you think that you are insured, only for you to get a shock of the ear. So can you tell us a little bit about the program that you have for the international, international plan?
Yeah, so when you have health insurance, you first of all make sure you always, before you travel, you always ask them, would this insurance cover me if I travel internationally? Most insurance companies they'll not cover you internationally, but they'll cover you for like the first 30 days if you were to go out internationally. But if you're planning to stay away for a long period of time, if you're here, then I would advise you to get your travel insurance. But if the travel insurance, and then because you can choose the level that you want to have, and you can choose how much coverage you want to have. So even if let's say you say 200,000, they'll tell you, okay, it's gonna cost this amount for you to at least be covered. If anything was to happen, we'll cover up to 200,000 or 500,000. And so you can just pay for it when you're here. And that's very easy. You can just get that on the side. Even if you have health insurance, you can just get that on the side. So you make sure that if I'm gonna be, let's say I'm going to Kenya for 3-4 months, the whole 4 months I'm covered in case of anything. And sometimes it even has whereby if anything was to happen, let's say like you got stranded because of COVID or something, they can fly you back here. And they can even fly you with someone else if it's a spouse or something like that. So they have very good plans. So it's just a matter of just asking, like before you travel, you make sure you make those plans. But then now if you have, let's say, a parent who's in Kenya and they are trying to come here for a few months, then that you have to apply for international insurance, because the international insurance covers them anywhere, will cover them regardless of whether they've lived here or not.
And thank you so much.
And so it's more pricey, but it's gonna cover them in any country they're in.
Would you talk a little bit about the long-term care plans that people usually get? I don't know whether you can talk about that right now or you would want to talk about it later. It just came as a question as we proceed on. Somebody is asking about that.
Okay, I can just touch on it a little bit. So the long-term care plan, it's an additional plan that you pay for in order, like in case something happens, let's say in case you get a stroke, and then after that, after you've been stabilized, then you have to go stay maybe in a different facility. Then the long-term care would kick in, or maybe if you become disabled and you have to stay somewhere else, long-term care will cover. So it just depends on the plan and what you have selected, because some people select where the long-term care plan can cover them for 3 years, 5 years, others just 1 year. So it all depends, because a lot of people make decisions based on cost. And I always try to tell people that make a decision based on like what would work best for you. Don't let cost always be the determining factor, because a lot of people just say, I want the cheapest. Even some people just call me and say, I want the cheapest insurance. So with that, when you say you want the cheapest, that means you're not even considering what it covers, what it doesn't cover, and all that. So with long-term care, it's the same thing. The more you pay for it, the more it will cover you maybe for a longer period of time, or you'll have less out-of-pocket expenses if you have to go to a different facility and all that to be taken care of.
Yeah, thank you. We in the issue of enrolling, somebody is saying that he had insurance, but in the middle of this year, he lost his job and lost his insurance. What advice would you give him?
So with that person, they can actually reach out to me, because so normally when you lose your job, you're given a Cobra packet. So a Cobra package states that this person used to have insurance. When they leave the company, they can still continue with this insurance for 18 months as long as they can pay for it. So normally let's say with an employer, when you're working for an employer, let's say you are paying $200 a month for health insurance. But then now when you leave the company, that means that the employer is not paying their portion. So you have to pay the full amount of the insurance. So the insurance may end up being, let's say, $800. So when you get your Cobra packet, they give you 60 days to make a decision whether you want to continue with that insurance. And so if you decide to continue with that insurance, you just send in the payment to the place where they indicated in the packet, and you can continue with that insurance. But if that insurance, let's say it's too expensive, you can reach out to someone like me, and we can help you look for something that's normally cheaper than the Cobra, because the Cobra, a lot of times it's quite pricey. And so sometimes you can get another plan that's almost similar, but it has, it costs less. Maybe it costs like maybe $200-300 less, so that's we help a lot of people who are on Cobra and want to transition maybe to private insurance.
Thank you so much. The other one is the issues of copay and co-insurance and the deductibles. What do we need to know about that?
So with your copay is so I have my experience with working as a benefit administrator with different companies. So with copay, what it is it's to make sure that when you go to the doctor's office, you have to at least pay a certain amount for that service before the doctors can see you. It's a way of the employer making sure that the employee takes responsibility on their part, so that they, like, let's say, for example, you can find that if there's no copay, the employees maybe would go to the doctor for anything. They'll go for a cough, then they'll go for their nose is running, they can go for all this and that. But when they put a copay, then let's say they say it's a $35 copay. Some people will consider, you know what, before I go to the doctor, do I really want to spend that $35 on this cough? Let me just go ahead and buy some. Let me go ahead and buy something at Walgreens first. And then if the cough doesn't go, is when I'll go to the doctor. So the copay is supposed to kind of make sure you are sharing responsibilities with you and the employer, because the employer pays a big chunk of your benefits.
Thank you. What are some of the other alternatives for people who cannot afford insurance? You talked about the gold card and the legacy. Are there other alternatives?
The other alternatives is there are very few alternatives. So there's only cash pay, and then also there's some other services where they would allow you to just you pay a certain amount every month, and you'll only have access to the doctors via phone. It's almost like, I don't know if you've heard of Teledoc, whereby you you can have the app on your phone, you call the doctor, you can look at the doctor via the app or via video chat, and then you let them know your symptoms, and then they send your medication to the pharmacy. So those are some other options that some people can have. If you cannot afford to have a full insurance, you can get something like that. And those are some services that I can help them find, look for those services. So at least that helps you to have access to doctors, although you won't be able to see them you won't be able to go in person, but you can talk to them over the phone, and you can talk to them via video chat. And that's good, like especially with this season of COVID, it's very convenient because, like, for example, if my daughter is sick, I don't want to take her to the clinic with my son because I don't want him to catch something over there while I'm taking her. So a lot of parents also just like to have that service also on the side. Even if they have insurance, they just have that on the side so that they don't have to keep going to the doctor's office. You just call at any time. It's 24 hours. Even if you're traveling, even if you're in a different state, you just call and say, oh, my child is throwing up. These are the symptoms. And then they're like, okay, you need to do this and this. You need this medication. I'll send it to the clinic, or I'll send it to the pharmacy, and then you just go pick it up.
That is interesting. The other, maybe as we prepare to conclude that particular part, there are the issues of my health. How does it affect the insurance cost?
So health, and that's a very good question, because a lot of times when you work for an employer, they don't really they don't ask you questions about your health to determine the cost. But because they have like a group rate, so that's why, like, when you leave the company and you have to pay for that insurance on your own, it's very expensive. But when it comes to you getting individual coverage, the insurance company asks all these different questions, and there are some things that if you have those things, then it's gonna make the cost go higher. For example, if you're obese and then you're also smoking, and you're a smoker, and you have, certain things, maybe you have diabetes and high blood pressure, that means you are a higher risk. And so if an insurance accepts you, they'll accept you, but they might charge you like way more than they would charge someone who maybe the only thing they have is just maybe they even just have high blood pressure. So it's very important to be able to to try and stay healthy. And that's why, even as a wellness coach, I really, really try to help people to understand the importance of staying healthy. Even when it comes to life insurance, there are certain things that you will not get in a life insurance if you have a lot of medical issues, or if you're obese, or if you have certain things going on with you. The price will be higher, or you won't get as much coverage as you want, because you might come saying, I want to have 500,000 for life insurance, but based on all the questions and that they ask you, based on the answers, or when they take you for a blood test or anything like that, then end up saying, okay, you can only qualify maybe for 200,000. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. There are people who would want to, just in general, as we wind up, they would want to understand a little bit more on where to get insurance, as just generally somebody who doesn't have insurance, the importance of having insurance, that one has been handled, and how to contact you in case they need some personal assistance or more information on how to get insurance.
Okay, so they can contact me. I don't know if you're able to put my number there, but it's my number is 346-298-2119, and that's 346-298-2119. And they can be able to just text me or call me. They can also find me on Facebook. If you put Joyce Marenddes and then it says the Health Insurance Advisor, you'll be able to find me there. And then also my personal Facebook is Amy Joy. So I know that sometimes throws people off because they're like, where's the Joyce Marenddes? But also Amy Joy. If you come to my personal page and just send me a message, Amy Joy, and send me a message, I'll be able to assist you. Or that phone number that I said, 346-298.
346. Very good. 346-298.
And then 2119.
2119.
Yeah.
It is important.
Yeah, they can send me a message. Yeah, they can send me a message, and then we can we can talk based on their scenario. I can give them advice on what steps to be able to take and or where to go find coverage that can best work for them. But I definitely they can call me and I can be able to help them, because I've been able to get a lot of questions even on Facebook. I like get a lot of questions and I get a lot of inquiries about health insurance and all that. So I can definitely assist. And then I'm not I also take for other states. So I'm not just bound by in Texas only. So we can take up to 30 different states. So over 30 states. So just it doesn't matter. Just send me a message. If I'm covered in your state, I will let you know and I'll be able to assist you. If I'm not, then I'll refer you to someone who can be able to assist you so you can get the coverage.
Thank you so much. Do you look at the age?
Yes, everything. We look at so when I send you the little questionnaire, I ask for your age, I ask for your date of birth. We ask for your height, weight, and we also ask a few questions about your health. And that's so I can know the best place to the best insurance that would work for you, because I wouldn't want you to waste time applying knowing that you will not get it. So just depending on what your answers, then I'll be able to know, okay, with this person they can qualify for this, they can qualify for that. But then there also there are other insurance plans that are called guaranteed issue, meaning that they will take you, they don't even ask all those questions, they will just take you. But they're sometimes a little bit pricey, especially if you're older. So if you're younger, they don't like, it's really good because the price will not be as high, but the older you get, the more expensive it becomes. But at least it's better than without not having insurance. And then also it doesn't cover as much as the regular insurance would cover, the one where they will ask you all these different questions, because they know that, okay, this person is coming to this plan because they don't qualify, maybe they have something going on. We don't care what that thing is, but we'll cover them. So it's a guaranteed issued plan. And that's something also people can reach out to me. If you have any kind of medical condition or anything like that, just don't hesitate. Reach out to me and we can also figure out how to put you in the guaranteed issue plan.
Thank you so much, Joyce Marenddes, for that segment. And I hope that somebody somewhere who is listening will be able to reach out to you to get more information on health insurance, because it is important. I had a friend of mine from Galveston a few, maybe 3 weeks ago, and she was struggling because of insurance. The other person who just asked us right now, because of her age, she thought that maybe she may not be getting insurance because of her age. And the numbers are there. If somebody would want to get more information, they'll be able to reach you. So before we wind up, what is your final comment?
So my final comment would be, if you can, health insurance is so important. So if you can really organize your life in such a way that you can have health insurance, I would really hope that people would take it more seriously, because I know sometimes I hear different comments where people say, oh no, it's too expensive, I don't want it taken out of my check or anything like that. But that is when you have a situation where you really need health insurance and you don't have it, that's like the worst place to be, because I've experienced it with my mom, watching her going and suffering, going from clinic to clinic trying to get services, but you can't really afford it because you don't have health insurance. So just the way people make sure that you have to have liability insurance for your car, health insurance is very important. And if you have questions, don't hesitate, don't just ignore it, because I know some people just they just assume that, oh, nothing will ever happen to me. And COVID has shown us that stuff can happen. And so when insurance is something very important that I think everybody should have, or everybody should organize their lives so that they can add that to their budget, so that they can be able to have health insurance. And I'm here. If anybody has any questions, I can always try my best to answer or to send you to someone who can help.
Thank you so much. I know Joyce Marenddes, based in Houston. In case you want to have any question or if you have any issue, the numbers are there on the screen: 346-298-2119. Her website is joycemarendes.com. And she'll be able to advise you. The other point that is important is she's a wellness coach, and when you want to make money, this is the person that you need to talk to.
When they want to make a lifestyle change. Let's make it clear. When they want to make a lifestyle change to live a balanced life.
In the process, you become rich and you become very happy. You become wealthy. You become happy. And once you become happy, you're good.
You can accomplish anything, exactly, because it's all in the mind.
Thank you so much. And I wish you a very good evening. And thank you so much for spending that time to spare, or rather to speak about that. And I believe that somebody somewhere has gotten a solution or an answer.
Yes. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for allowing me to be in your platform today. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Say hello to everyone else and keep safe out there.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. That is...
Captain RTV, the trumpet of hope. Captain